Hello and welcome to my debut on YouTube, and my channel name is D. Angeloni, and the D stands for Dennis, which is my actual name. I was going to use the Nightfly, but the Nightfly URL as one word was not available, and I chose that name because I tend to prefer the night over the day. My energy's a bit better at night, which is maybe why I was never a great employee during the day. And I never held a night job in my life, but somehow I worked around this handicap. I'm going to do two different undertakings here. One is to just talk and provide my slant and perspective on things. And please note, nearly everything I'll be sharing will hopefully be humorous, sarcastic, ironic, and somewhat meaningful. Hopefully. And let's see, do I look pretty enough here? Well, no, that's not going to happen with me. It's so much easier when you're getting older and uglier every day. You just don't care anymore. And at my age, I've kept track of numerous scenarios in my life and have a tendency of putting my own twist and interpretation on things and taking advantage of life's tangled webs of twists and turns and knockdowns and, well, for lack of a better term, disappointments. And hey, who doesn't want to become immortal and leave something behind, be it good or not so good? Also, I have approximately 39,000 or so words to say. It sounds worse than it is, but it should go quickly as I will break it up into videos, into 7 to 8 minute videos. And my wife thinks I'm crazy, of course, she always has. But enough about the first part of my show containing the banter. And when I'm done with my not-so-tall tales and babble, I will play some of my compositions on the piano. There are about 30 of them or so, and fortunately most of them are rather short, somewhere between 30 seconds to 100 seconds or so. I'm a minimalist, and you'll observe quickly that I'm not a very good keyboardist at all, and didn't start playing the piano until I was 26, with the sole idea of composing, knowing that I would never be solid enough player to perform. So be forgiving and just grimace and or cringe when I mess up. I'll do some retakes, of course. Also, I did a few songs back in 2001 and then again in 2013 with a producer in the studio. And I'll play those live productions that are on either my CD or on my laptop. And these will sound much better than me playing live, that's for sure. And there are 10 songs in total that were laid down. But this will come later on, probably in about 3 to 4 weeks from now. Also, I wanted to show you my crew of technical assistants and support staff right now, but the GoPro 9 camera doesn't take to being moved while filming and shuts off for some reason. But they all walked out over a contract dispute, and I'll be calling the union to see what they can do. Only kidding, of course. It's just me here, and honestly, though, this is amateur hour. It's low budget, and I'm not a polished performer, as you can readily see, and I promise you that there will be mistakes. And I'm not spending a dime, I'm just spending my time. Well, I did have to spend a little money to put this together. It's about what I say. It's not how I look, and I'm certainly not cute, perky, and flashing my pearly whites. Awkward is a better description. As all of this is scripted, I'll do the best I can. And if I reach only family and friends, it's okay. I'm not sophisticated with technology, and I may change this format going forward. Since you're surely tired of seeing my raggedy face and me reading from a script. So I may eventually substitute some of the videos with pictures, but we'll see how things go. And yes, I'm a bit nervous doing this, but also excited. So maybe with a little luck, I'll get better. Again, maybe. So I've self-published 3 books. I'm working on a 4th. And basically, I'm just a hack. There's always something in my head, and I seem to always want to write it down. And the 4th book is not completed yet, but should be done in about a year or so. I do love writing, and I'm going to read some excerpts from my writing, knowing very well that I have to avoid being too risque, which isn't too much of a problem. I figure that about 99% of what I write is acceptable anyway. The titles of the books are in sequential order, and note that my titles are either very long or very short. So the first book's title is Beware the Great Underdose, the worst book ever, somewhat nonplussed and other paradoxes. The second book is titled Apophenia 2009 to 2013. And the third book title is The Imaginary Audience, Memories of Mosquito Beach, both real and perceived. I don't know where to come up with this. In Tales of a Lurking Polymathic Immortal Hero. The title is almost as long as the book, and again, that's one title. And the 4th book will be titled Progress, and that's progress with a question mark at the end and an upside down question mark that they use in the Spanish language in front of the title. Needless to say, I take issue with some of our concepts and ideas on progress. The first thing that I wrote was, when nothing works, do nothing. Not everything is going to work out. And when you're frustrated, beat up, and exhausted, just let it go. Take a break. We need to do that every now and then. And understand that this may not always be the proper reaction to frustration in every case, as there is no such thing as a universal case. And don't misunderstand me. I'm not playing the psychologist or philosopher, hardly. But just boil it down, reduce it, minimalize it. It all eventually passes you by. And this is passing me by now as I read. Life is a series of rooms. Everything that happens is a room that we visit, leave, and then sometimes return to the same room, but not very often. There is a fluidity to just about everything we do. Some matters are important, compelling, and significant, and memorable. Most are not. And you can't please everyone in the world. And the world is always in a state of flux as it is. If I've learned something in my 67 plus years, it's that everything is interesting. Everything. From the grandest scheme to the most minute detail. Whether it be the smallest particle in the universe, such as a boson or a neutrino, it's all fascinating. Just look at the universe. It's phantasmagorical, almost impossible to conceive. And as someone once said, in order to be interesting, you need to be interested. There are three words that really hit home for me. Talk is cheap. You can't say much after that, though it's seemingly a contradiction as I keep rambling on right now. And why, you ask? Because I'm a pedestrian, and it wouldn't be very interesting if all I said was talk is cheap and never said another word. But life is complicated. I think the biggest compliment you could ever give someone is this: I don't know what you have, but I do know that I want you on my side. And of course, no one has ever said that to me. Despite being a man, I have to admit honestly, and I'm being very honest here, that women are fascinating creatures. Definitely smarter than men, more mysterious, more sublime, more sensual. We can't compete with them. They have everything over on us. And I'm not just saying this for the hell of it. I'm very serious. And I've yet to find one man who could become pregnant and have a fetus attack their body and resources for 9 months. Women are superior to men, and I was not paid to say this. Children must be allowed to be children. And I believe that adults never really become adults. It's all an act. We call it maturity. We've become grown-up children who revert back to childhood for many decisions and impulses. And I believe that if adults cannot refer back to childhood due to some psychological block and impedance, this adult can experience trauma and psychological issues. And I don't have a doctor in front of my name. Musicians know one thing, that it doesn't have to be right, it just has to sound right. And I believe that there is some truth to the term glad to be unhappy. I don't think people are born to be happy all the time. I believe that there needs to be that balance, that we need to have hurdles, obstacles, disappointments, frustrations, and sadness. Or as I look at it, if you have 10 perfect sunny days in a row that are 75 degrees, you look forward to a rainy day. I love being happy and content, but happy and content all the time? No way. One should not always be sober. People need their escapes, breakouts, and flights of fancy, and I'll leave it at that. And the best pickup line I ever heard in a bar was this, and this is funny. This guy that I worked with when I was on Amtrak decades ago said the following to a woman. He said, "Hello, my name is Robert such and such, and your prayers have just been answered." Now that's a great pickup line, whether it works or not. Though if I had tried that line, she would have discovered shortly thereafter that I was wrong. Okay, this is my introductory video with more to follow, certainly, and hopefully I will see you again for the follow-up video. Again, I do have about 20 to 25 videos, not including the music. As Arnold Schwarzenegger says, I'll be back, and I estimate that I should be back in another day or so. Take care. Thank you.